that we do believe, first of all, that there is something sinister going on when the police chief decides to allow these officers to view the videotape before their reports are finalized. And as we come back to the Mam story in later on, as I explained to you exactly why that's so critical, because when you have 6 criminals involved in a crime, you don't put them all in one room and have them speak to one another, compare notes, and then watch a videotape to make sure that their notes jive with the videotape. You separate the criminals, and then you speak with them individually, and then you check what they have to say with one another and against the videotape. Here, they've turned that protocol on its head. These officers are not just officers in this case, investigating a case about somebody else where they might need to look at a videotape, but they are accused of battering a man to death. They are being investigated for murder, so they ought not be allowed to see that videotape before they finalize their report. It's been over 45 days, and we still have not seen the officers' reports.
I want to ask you again, though, about this federal claim that you're planning on filing tomorrow.
All right. What we'll be filing will be claims. We've already sent in notices on the state level of filing claims against the department, against these individual officers. One of the officers who was involved in yet another matter we'll discuss in a few moments, and the claims will include, obviously, the false arrest, beating to death of Kelly, and we're going to have civil rights allegations involving the federal Constitution and the deprivation of Kelly's right to live as a free citizen when he's not bothering anyone, and that will be prelude to a lawsuit later in both potentially state and federal courts, and we'll discuss that in a moment.
Gary, I want to ask you about some comments made by the DA, Tony Rackauckas. He said on our show last week when we interviewed him that the evidence, this videotape, shows that there is no evidence that the officers intended to kill Kelly Thomas. The investigation continues. They're still trying to figure out, even when you look at those pictures and you look at this video, if excessive force was used. What's your response to that?
Well, let me tell you, excessive force can be interpreted by people's conduct. You know, our prisons are full of inmates who claim they did not intend to murder. They did not intend to kill the individual they accosted. They were only going to try to control them or just teach them a lesson, and then the person just happened to die. Well, you file the charges. You let a jury decide. A jury will decide whether these officers had a right to keep beating Kelly Thomas after he had submitted, after he had passed out, after he was no longer responsive. They kept pummeling his head. They kept striking him with their knees. They kept punching him. They used a taser, the butt of a taser, to smash his head in. They used the pavement and the curb